Hold on a sec. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Oh, okay. Well, we have Colony versus Colony. And we will see if Colony can get up and Colony will lose. We have Gus McDonald in the middle of the field, swinging it to the low side. Colony Pillage is in blue and white, and Plunder, which is the Worlds team, is in black and red. Seb Hardy on the short side of the field. Goes to the hammer over the top to Dave Andrews, to Oscar Francis. Centers it back into the middle, back to Oscar. Oscar's looking for some form of break. Fun fact about Oscar, he's ambidextrous. Something that came very handy in the World squad. I believe he played for the Blue Bottles. I also have my co-commentator who you would have heard last game, Gina.
Hello.
Gina's here. And with that, we have a goal. Pillage, 1-0. Looked maybe a bit too easy. Not too sure if we have the on-field mic to give you some ambience, but it is there. Ah, there we go. There we go the field. Alrighty. So, Gina, do you know anything about these teams?
I do not.
Well, from what I can tell you, as these Colony has been a prominent force throughout most of my time that I've been playing Frisbee for about the past 5 years. So much so that they can successfully split the team A and B and still get into semis in most tournaments. This time they have tended to go more on a heavier side with Plunder as their Worlds team, captained by the one and only Will Norton. If you're watching at home, you'll see that Pillage, it's going to take me a while to
differentiate the two.
Ah, yeah. But with Pillage scoring that 0 point, we've got more offensive action with Plunder. Goes to the flick pull. Lulu stops it. Sends it to Edward Garfield, a import on the Colony side. Mark Wee, captain of the Blue Bottles, decides to jack it. But unfortunately, the intended receiver cannot read it. That was number 10. No? Can't see their...
number 10, yep.
It was number 10. Well, unfortunately, it was Pele. Pele couldn't bring it in. Walking up, Gus McDonald, another Blue Bottles, but there seems to be a call because everyone's walking back to the stack.
Might have been a pick.
Yeah, surely. I did get some info from Seb Hardy, the Pillage captain, that Plunder is now only down to 9 players, but it looks like that they're still keeping up with everybody else. Garfield with the disc. Goes high side to number 2. Back to Garfield.
Nice breakthrow there.
Evans, the co-editor of IOU Ultimate. Goes back to Lulu. Lulu looks off Wee. Back to Evans. Evans looking for something downfield. He sees Garfield, but what a great read by McDonald. Looking for something downfield. Can't find anyone moving. Goes to the side. Goes to number 90, Tom Butler. But it is turnover. Garfield with the disc. Goes to Pally. That's Denya. Looking for something in the middle. Goes to the open side. Garfield with the disc on the high side. Goes the big break backhand. It goes over 2 people, and they still can't collect it. Abra will not be happy about that. I believe both we and Pally should have gotten both of those, but unfortunately not. One thing that you would have heard with Colony Plunder is that they do have 2 American imports, Chris Kocher and Jimmy Mickle. Unfortunately, I don't think either of them are playing this tournament.
What a shame. Making me feel at home.
But they don't need those players when you have Mark Wee getting a D on the goal line. It's an easy dish from Lulu.
I am expecting some big things from this game after hearing both teams say they want to make some highlight reel plays.
Oh yeah, we had a few of the players just saying we probably know what the outcome's going to be, as they have been trained together for this whole period of time. But we'll see what Pillage can do. Captain Seb Hardy is quite happy that his team could generate 3 blocks in the world squad.
Score is now 1-0.
Unfortunately, we're having a few technical difficulties as we can't actually update the score on the screen. But once we can, we will. Looks like the Pillage boys all ready to go. Running hard, working hard. With on Plunder's side, Vladimiras ready for the pull. Vladimiras just came off as a assistant coach of the men's under-24 team, the Goannas. They had a very successful run with the bronze medal. Seb Hardy on the low side of the field. It looks like that Plunder is doing a bit of a zone to try and stop movement downfield. Goes to the scuba over the top. Over to Xavier Black. Black to Hardy. Hardy to Liam Varley. And that is a easy goal for Pillage. 2-1.
Still having some technical difficulties with the scoreboard.
Goal scorer Liam Varley. Also the Sydney Uni Ultimate president. I've had a few chats with him about how they've been going with their development over the years. They've always been a really strong contender at the Australian Uni Games. And it shows. Great positioning by Varley. Oh, yeah, good. As long as Mike can update the score, then we don't have to. It looks like the our iPad scoreboard. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna try.
All good. Score's correct on the board now. Yeah, based on the sideline presence, it does look like Plunder has the advantage with more subs than Pillage in this game.
Absolutely, as Plunder has at least 5 more players on their roster, but with injuries and people working a bit too hard, it looks like the Pillage line is a bit too short. But doesn't seem to be affecting much. However, their defense is quite low. Maybe they're playing a bit of a Japanese half-court, letting Plunder go all the way up to halfway. Evans with the disc in the middle of the field. Pillage slowly getting on the mark. Evans is directing play, trying to get something to move. Looks to Lulu, wants to go up the line, doesn't have it, but then goes back to Lulu. Lulu looks off the upfield cut, wants to look at Evans. Evans is directing play, saying do something different. Goes for the hammer over to Mark Wee and connects. That would have had to be in a at least a stall 9 hammer. Something of the sorts, but it came off. I do know that Lucas Nichols, or Lulu, as they get called, is a product of the Sydney Uni Ultimate squad. Don't know how he's still at uni, though, because he looks way too old to be at uni. But then again, each their own.
Some people take longer than others. It's all good.
So I've been at uni for 6 years, so I can't say anything.
Did it in 4.
Thanks for rubbing it in. 2-2. Close game. We'll see if we can get more highlights like those. Yeah, that was a really nice looking hammer in the wind.
It was, yeah.
Hey, Will. Do you want to do a halftime interview to give us the inside scoop of how Colony's preparing for Worlds? Just speaking to Will Norton, the captain of the Colony Worlds team.
Very exciting here. I've seen a lot of scoobers today.
Oh yeah,
giving me some inspiration.
And you'll see a lot of pretty throws like that as McDonald picks up the disc, centers it to number 60, Rory Connell. It looked like a bit of a transition. Plunder's calling fine, but they're now on the. It looks like they're also trying to do the same thing as Plunder did last point. Oh, unfortunately, Dave Andrews, arguably the better of the two Andrews, can't bring it in. Bit too of a
little bladey there.
Yeah. Rory can't connect with his player.
Wind doesn't seem to be affecting too much as it was yesterday.
Absolutely. You'll see that it's definitely not as sunny, but I guess because there is a lot more cloud coverage today, which is a bit nicer. But it is easily not as windy as it was yesterday, and as I say that, the wind decides to pick up a little. Latamanis at the disc, looking for something downfield, finds Rob Andrews, but gets hand blocked by his younger brother. Oh, he will not let that down. And then he gets scored on. Like I said, arguably the better of the two Andrews gets the goal and the double happiness.
Pillage now up 3-2.
Ooh, I would not want to be Rob in this scenario.
Yeah. Little family feud going on there.
Absolutely.
So not knowing much about these two teams, do they train together? Is that part of their...
I would have to say so. I'm assuming that the World squad might have a more of a strict regime, but coming into Worlds, you know, I'm pretty sure they've got a single-digit seed, as they are one of the more premier squads. Here's a replay on the hand block. Reads it like a book and shuts down. Well done to Dave Andrews. I'd like to say hand block, Rob. Maybe Dave's been getting some of that brotherly influence, making it easy to read the plays.
A little bit of the inside scoop.
From the notes that we received from both the teams, Pillage did put down that Dave is a Goannas player, but in the year 2020. So maybe it'll happen with plays like that. It certainly will. Connell with the pull. Big flat rip, but it looks like it is going out as Abra Garfield milks it a little just to make sure that it stays out. Slowly walks up to the brick mark, letting Colony Pillage set their defense quite loosely. Looks like they're doing a bit of a bracket with leaving their dump handler open. Denya. Garfield looks upfield. Goes to Lucas Nichols. Still got Denya free. Goes underneath the hand of the Pillage player, but can't bring it in.
Nice
even
move
with
there
that
by Connolly.
layout. Yeah, absolutely. That was Pally.
Looks like Pillage is trying to conserve a bit of their energy.
Absolutely. So Rory Connell wants to get that premier dump play with Butler. Fakes it, goes to Hardy. Hardy looking upfield, fakes it, big fake, but still jacks it. Oh, great layout. Unfortunately, it just bounced out of his hands. There was no Plunder defender at all near him, but still can't bring it down. Once again, Pillage slow to get moving. Sitting on the high side of the field. Pally at the disc. Now they've transitioned into a bit of a junk. Can't really tell what that is, but Connell decides to say, "Hey, let's get on to man." Jacks it to Evans, and that isn't even a question. Lulu is always going to be connecting with those. Yeah, we'll have to get Mike to look at that one. Pull goes up. Connell just watching it. Takes it. Sends it to Gus McDonald. McDonald's looks at Andrews. Looks him off. Hardy with the disc. Hardy looking for something up line. Doesn't get it. Looks back to McDonald, who then goes up the line with a great grab. Fantastic grab. And there is a pick on the field. McDonald rewarded with that great grab that he has. Still keeps the disc. Looks like just coming in at... It's coming in at 1. Gus jacks it on a high side, but unfortunately Connell can't bring it in. Looks like M. Hodgson, who I believe played for Brunch, Lunch, Crunch last year. Is that right? M. Hodgson played for Lunch last year? Ah, never mind. False news. Latimer with the disc. Goes to number 22, Jimmy Todd Hill. Sends it back to Will Norton. Goes to Rob Andrews. Looking upfield, looking for something. Can't find it. Goes back to Andrews. Swing to M. Hodgson looks upfield. Goes to Jimmy Todd Hill. Looks off Petrov. He's not happy about that one. Instead, looking for a lot of options upfield, but there is everybody's moving everywhere. A bit chaotic. Todd Hill walks around the mark there. M goes in the inside break to Petrov. Petrov sends it back to Lado. Lado looking for the dump. Goes to Hodgson. Goes over the top over Andrews. Let's see if he can read it. And gets it. Goal to Plunder, and Connell decides to call a timeout. Well needed.
Some nice flow by Plunder there.
Yeah, he was
keeping the disc moving.
Much nicer than their recent points, that's for sure. Solid connecting throws, nothing going wrong there.
We got it.
Yes, Liam, you're 4-3 down. Pillage with taking a big, well-earned drinks break. Still keeping alive in this game. But it looks like that Plunder is having a few talks within themselves, all scattered everywhere. As you can see at the very back of the field, the 3 captains, well, there should be 4 captains. I don't know where Will is. Ah, was in the middle. But Rob Andrews and Lado are talking, figuring out what needs to be done. Whether or not they need to tighten themselves, or if they're just going to take this semi-final quite nonchalantly and try and get those 100% throws down, even if they might not be 100% throws.
Yeah, we were talking last game, and they're about 3 months out of World Clubs.
Yeah,
so, you know.
World Clubs at Cincinnati this year.
Yeah, so they got some got to work on their kinks, you know, make sure their flow is good for that. 3
How-
months comes quick.
How is the Ellipsis team looking? Well, I guess it should be the Ellipsis D-line, I believe.
That was the O-line.
That was the
playing.
O-line?
Yep.
Okay. How's the Ellipsis O-line looking?
Yeah, they were looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see too much from them defensively because they were the O-line, so it was mostly
But defense is half the game.
Yeah, no, it's true. But we didn't see, you know, we were kind of hoping that they would throw out some zones and stuff, but didn't get too much of that. But they had some really, really nice flow on offense.
Yeah.
But Rogue definitely stuck it to them. They were up, I think, 9-1, and Rogue did come back with a little run. Ended up scoring 7 points in the second half. So.
All right.
It's good to see. The score definitely didn't reflect the game. Both teams were working really hard.
Do you think it's going to be an ellipsis final?
That was the prediction. But I'm actually, who's playing in the semis right now for women?
I'll look it up, find out, and then we can give you guys at home the right information.
I was giving some live Fuse Ellipsis updates during the Ellipsis Rogue game.
Oh, where's the other Ellipsis team versing Fuse this morning?
Yeah, and they did take the win on that one.
Yeah, right. So, the current Ellipsis semi from what it looks like to me. Unfortunately, I can't tell because the scores haven't been updated. Back to the game anyway.
Classic.
Yeah. Pillage looking to Connell, doesn't look, finds somebody else, but June Todd Hill with a great read. Smacks the disc. Can't connect to Jarek, who really wanted that down the field line. June with the hit disc. Goes to the scuba. Reed Stewart, number 4, didn't like that option. Hodgson looking for something. Goes down the line to Andrews. Andrews to Norton. Norton looking for something upfield, but can't find it. Goes to Hodgson. Hodgson swings. And then goes the big bladey flick over to Jimmy Todd Hill for that double happiness. Very nice. Really capitalizing on the misplay that Pillage had there.
Wind definitely starting to pick up now.
Mm-hmm. Something that most Brisbane teams aren't used to, but there is wind, and it does exist all around Australia. So maybe this is something that the other teams are happy for, because it means that they're not getting complacent with their throws. The wind will be testing them the whole time, especially with their final.
Plunder is now up 5-3.
The other men's semi-final is the Hoss Worlds team, I believe it's called Juggernaut, versus the Brisbane Mammoth. So far, both teams are undefeated, I believe.
Yep, I believe that is correct.
So
should be a good game over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it might be a bit more in energy. It looks like Pillage will keep playing, but from what they told us before, they accepted their fate before the game and is
just wanted to make the highlight reels.
Yeah, will happily take the big shots to get some sweet Callahan footage. Andrews with a big pull.
We almost had a greatest in the Ellipsis Rogue game.
Ooh, that would be tasty.
So close.
Great pull by Rob Andrews. McDonald takes it, swings it, goes back into the middle of the field to Seb Hardy. Hardy back to McDonald. Swings it back into the middle. Looking for number 76. Unfortunately, I don't know who that is because it's not on my sheet. But he still keeps the disc up. Xavier Black. Oh, I'm thinking, oh, okay.
Their ones do look a bit like 7s.
They do, yes. Sorry. So that was Sean O'Mahony. Keeping it alive, but unfortunately there is a turn. Petrov to Stewart. Laddo is looking on the right side of the field, but Reese decides to throw it to the left side of the field.
Beautiful.
Still
read.
connects. Very questionable throw. But Laddo with the great read. Thing is that it's not going to the right side of the field.
Here's the replay now. Looks like the wind might have caught that just a little bit.
No, that was definitely definitely a Rhys Stewart throw. I do play Thursday nights in the Brisbane Premier League with Rhys sometimes when he's in Brisbane. As you can tell, Lado was not expecting the disc to be over there. Still connects. The score is 6-3 to Plunder. You will notice a lack of Tom Cupcake Tullett, as he's playing a bit of a coaching role this tournament. He's got the whiteboard and a few magnets as he tries to direct everybody off the field to tell them to do better, make better cuts, cleaner throws. If you were the coach for this Plunder side, the World's team, what would you be saying, Gina? Anything they can improve on? Anything they need to be doing better?
I think their swings and their small balls looking pretty good. They haven't really looked at the deep option too much. They're kind of just working it up the field and getting it to the end zone when they can. Yeah,
that might be a something that Australian Ultimate isn't usually like. We definitely do like jacking it along because we have the height, we have the athleticism. Anyway, back to this game. Gus puts a nice floaty swing middle of the field. Looks to Janko. Janko back to Connell. Decides to rip it. Looking for Varley. Stewart-Varley matchup. Varley has the positioning, and he scores. Woo! Yeah, we're here first, folks.
Pillage, yeah.
Abra with the disc on the high side. With a very slow walkabout defense. Mark Wee looking to something. Gus McDonald, his partner from Bottles. Nichols with the disc. Goes upfield. Butler dropping off, and then doesn't read it well enough. Plunder with the score.
Plunder seeming to find some seamless open unders.
That just might be because Pillage is taking their defense a bit too lax.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they're definitely expecting that though. It might have been better if we streamed the Bauhaus Ellipsis game. Who knows?
Oh yes, that is going on the other field.
Yes.
Scoreboard looks like it says 5-4 over there.
Yeah, real tight game. We saw Bauhaus go down to Brisbane Fuse yesterday, but if they're versing Ellipsis, it looks like that might be a semi-final game, so they might have improved their act.
That is the Ellipsis O-line as well, I believe.
But anyway, back to our game.
Score is now 7-4, Plunder.
Lanamatas with the disc.
Plunder looking to take a lead here, I think.
Yeah, let's see if they can knock out half with a very quick and easy half. Lado with a big outside in. Nice floaty. Connell walks over to it, grabs it, centers it. Back to Connell. Connell with a big smile on his face, looking for something downfield. Looks, finds Dave Andrews. The fake goes up line. Oh, nearly takes out the camera with that big fake, but can't get it. Decides to go on the high side instead. Oh, with the big backhand out of the field, and it never comes back in. That was number, I want to say 17, or it could be 77. Or I could be completely wrong. No, it was actually number 11. Nathan Stacey. Their ones look really similar to
they are
sevens.
a bit weird.
I think it might be that their ones look like sevens, but their sevens look more like sevens.
Yes, I can agree with that.
So, yeah.
Like, is that 31 or 37? I'm calling you.
I want to say that, well, Leto is 31,
okay.
so yes. Yes.
Because it definitely looks like 7.
It looks like a 7. Colony. I'm not too sure who your jersey maker is, but a very interesting choice in the font, that's for sure.
The shorts seem to be a bit better.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and Petrov clean drops it. Stacey the disc, looking for the hammer option, but can't find anything. Decides to swing it over to Black. Black to Connell. Connell looks something downfield, can't find it. Goes back to Stacey. Stacey goes for the backhand fake, doesn't get put out, but then that is a drop, but it's a pick.
Call. You always got to catch a disc, even in a pick call.
You do. That is what the rules state.
Can never be too safe.
However, the call is definitely decided between the two teams, and like the rules state, it is a turnover. Norton walking over to the disc. Picks it up. Todd Hill with the disc. Very aggressive on the mark there. Got number 91, Benjamin Sudis. Goes up line to Todd Hill. Todd Hill goes for a very awkward looking hammer. And
nice read by Pillage.
It didn't look like it was ever going to connect, and it didn't connect. So Pillage has enough opportunity to get another point before half. Andrews with the field. Goes for the inside shot to Varley. Varley looking to slam downfield. Can't find anything. Looks back to Connell. Connell breaks Hodgson's ankles. And Andrews has the frizz. Andrew goes to Connell. Connell look for something up the line. Sees three options.
Two Pillage players going for the disc, and neither of them come down with it.
Yeah. It looks like that. It looks like Janko decided to try and steal it away from Varley.
Here's the replay now.
And too many people couldn't decide who caught the disc.
Looks like it just brushed his fingertips.
Sorry, it was Jarek, not Janko. Jarek. Branko Jarek was the player, and Liam Varley. Lado walking to the front of the end zone. Taking his time. Black on the mark. Disc is in. And Pillage doesn't look like they're responding at all. It might be some sort of play, because Liam Varley looks like a lost dog here. Not doing anything. Norton with the disc. No mark. Varley looks like he is doing some sort of junky stuff. But Colony decides to jack it long to three defensive plays, but still connects. Over to Ben Sudis. Sudis to Petrov. Petrov back to Sudis, but what a great layout with enough pressure to generate the D.
I think Plunder got a little too comfortable there.
Yeah. Maybe this junky zone thing, whatever they're pulling, is paying off. Dave Andrews, the disc on the low side. Wants to throw to Connell, connects to Connell. Decides to jack it. And still grabs it.
Pillage sneaking in another point.
Branko Jarek decides to bring it in this time. All generated by Rory Connell, captain. I actually don't think he's the captain. Seb Hardy, is Rory the captain or are you the captain? Right, two captains. Still keeping it alive.
Score is now 7-5 Pillage.
Is it?
Oh.
Is it 7-5? I thought it was 7-4 still. 7-5 to Plunder.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Sure.
Why are they both going to start with P's?
Well, because Actually, I don't know. I could definitely. Like, I guess pillage and plunder are kind of the same word.
Yeah.
If you look at the dictionary, they'll probably be synonyms. And it is, you know, a reference to the 1776, 1776, I think it was. Captain Cook arriving in Botany Bay to set up his colony. I do know that colony has a Div 2 team, Rum Corps. Goes a bit away from the P alliteration. But that was Francis with the pull. Catches it still. Aber in the middle of the field. Pillage setting up this half-court whatever junk. Evans takes a few too many steps. The rest of the Pillage boys are very happy with that travel. Goes back to the inside. Garfield on the high side. Too many options. Goes to Evans. Evans fakes it. Fakes it again. No one's biting it. Daniel decides to throw it to Evans. Hardy with a bit of aggression on the mark. Daniel goes to the flick side to Marquis. Marquis looks it off. Goes back to Daniel. Daniel over to the high side to number 2. Don't know who that is because it's not on my board. Ivali gets the run through D. Plunder making a few too many mistakes there. Maybe they're getting a bit too complacent, seeing there's so many options at the very beginning. Connell looking for something downfield, but there is a pick. Gets back in. Connell swings it wide to Varley. Varley goes to McDonald. McDonald fakes, pumps, shimmies, goes to Seb Hardy. Seb Hardy wants something long, but decides to go the double helixed hammer. And Connell doesn't like that. Maybe Hardy needs to do some hammer practice, because that did not look pretty. When you see a frisbee, a hammer specifically, double helixing, it probably wasn't what you expected, or what you wanted anyway. Butler taking a nap on the field, seeing if that works out. It didn't. Evans picks up the disc. Goes to Denya. Denya back to Evans. Takes another few steps. Goes to Denya. Denya looking for something upfield. Finds Lulu. Lulu back to Evans. Goes to number 2. Looks for something on the break side. Can't find anything. Evans looking to decide, but goes to break side. Finds Wee. Wee wants to throw break side as well. Doesn't go. Goes back to Evans instead. Nichols with the disc. Goes to number 2. The man who seems to be generating all the field possession. Swings it back to Evans. Evan goes to Nichols. There's not too much movement down in the goal area.
No, Pillage seems to be happy to be giving up the handling movements.
As it looks like the handlers are doing all the work. Evans wants the disc on the sideline. Looking for the dump. Gets Denya. Losing meters. Goes to Garfield. Garfield gets the disc. We all know Garfield likes to throw something unconventional, I should say. Nichols with the hammer over the top to Wee, and Wee drops it.
Hits the fingertips.
Oh.
Pillage looked like they were stepping up their defense there.
Yeah, they did a very good job with stopping anything at the goal area, but they did a lot of handler movement out. Pillage goes into the middle of the field, swings onto the low side. Tom Butler can't get it though. Aber Garfield picks up the scraps, dumps it. Denya looking for something, hammers it. That's a good looking hammer. And number 2 catches it.
Correct. Nice to see one of those hammers work out in their favor.
Yeah. Still have no idea who number 2 is, because he's not on my sheet. And
I believe that brings us into half.
Yeah, Plunder takes half. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a halftime interview here with Will Norton, one of the captains of the Colony World Squad. Will, how have you guys been playing so far?
We've been playing really well. We've had a couple of good tournaments. Everyone's really finding the fire, finding the focus early, and we're really riding the wave.
And you would say that continue with this game? Because Pillage is very, well, I should say, I want to say it's a Japanese half-court junk, because that's what it looks like. It seems to be generating the turns. It looks like that Plunder needs to tighten a few things.
Yeah, I agree. We had a bit of a hard game with I-beam this morning, early start. Right before lunch, I think that's getting to everyone. Everyone's a little hungry.
Yep.
But, you know, I think we can rise past the mind games and get there.
What was the score in the I-beam game?
I can't remember.
But still got the W there.
Yeah, still got the W.
Moving on to Worlds practice, we know that you picked up 2 very good American imports, Chris and Jimmy. They are absent for this tournament.
That's right. They're currently in Germany running a week-long training camp.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Just jet setting around the world playing frisbee. Got a pretty good life, I'd say.
Yeah, if you can have some sort of a life that you get, well, not paid. Well, I guess they are getting paid if they're getting jet set over to Germany to play frizz. Maybe we'll have a few Australians in the mix in a few years getting paid to play frizz.
Yeah, and there's talk of a few of the boys going over to play with Pony, the New York team.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're doing that right after clubs, so that's pretty exciting for them, getting to play a season with the best.
I'll say we know your coach for this tournament, Tom Tullett. Mm-hmm. Well, he is going to be part of the team for the Worlds campaign. Played on an American team over in the US. What team was that?
That was Johnny Bravo. They're based out of Colorado. And I think they had quite a good season. The year he played, they didn't win, but from all reports, he had a great time, learnt a lot. He's brought a lot of good stuff back with him that we've implemented in the team. Yep.
All right, I got one more question before I can let you go. If you had to say that you were in the next few months before Worlds that your team has to do to make sure they are in 100% form, what would you say they are? What's the focus in the next couple of months?
Next few months, so we've just spent about 6 months in the gym. Everyone's got a membership, everyone's squatting, deadlifting, doing a lot of weights, trying to hit those 1-rep maxes. Mm-hmm. And in the next few months transitioning to Worlds, we're moving away from that. We're going to do a few more track sessions, plyos, sprints, and agility.
So you had a bulking season, now you've got a lean season.
Yeah, shredding season.
Yeah. Well, that's if you're not a frisbee player and that doesn't entice you to play frisbee, I don't know what will. We know that a lot of times frisbee players don't usually get in the gym to get a lot of deadlifts and squats there, but it is good to see that we're getting some sort of strength in the mix and treating our bodies correctly like they should be. But anyway, thanks for your time, Will. Best of luck for the rest of the game. Hopefully we'll see you guys in the final and with a bit more energy.
Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the action with a bit of wind coming out of here.
Almost blowing our tent over.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a few Colony boys helping us strap everything down. But Pillage comes out with that half-court junk. It seems to be working, but with a big bump of the chest of Oscar Francis to Ely. I do know now his name is Peter Ely, not just number 2. And it looks like a bit of contact was made. Disc is back in. Looks for the downfield option, can't find it. Oscar still gives a bit of a bump. Daniel with the disc. Oh! Bit of contact again. Looks like Colony, I should say Plunder, happy to take their time, get 100% throws. Goes to the inside shot to Lulu. Lulu goes back to Denya. Denya looks off Evans. Ooh, downfield is everyone's getting cut off. We with the disc. And goes into the inside, but there is a man on the ground. It looks like Gus McDonald. Not too sure what happened.
Injury has been called.
And McDonald's coming off with an injury, I think. He signaled injury.
I think they're discussing whether the point will stand.
Oh, absolutely. As that's what matters in Frisbee. Not the well-being of our players, but who scores the goal.
Of course.
And it has been confirmed a goal. Garfield with the score.
Here's the replay.
9-5 to Plunder.
We do have an update from the Mammoth Haas game. Haas has taken Mammoth at half, 8-6.
Very tight action. Let's see if we can see a from the listings a Haas Colony final. Something that we have seen many times.
Could be a little biased. I'd like to see a Mammoth Colony final.
Absolutely. With all the fans that we brought down this today with it looks like a bit of rain just starting, just a bit of sprinkling. Hopefully doesn't cause any technical problems for the gear. Alright. Pillage taking their time setting up. But Plunder is also making sure that Tullett says everything he needs to before he gets off the field. Put it in the pool, he says. Don't know what that means. But Andrews with the rip. Big inside out. Looks like it's going in. Stays in. Connell with the disc. Connell's looking for something downfield. Can't find it. Swings it back to Connell. Connell goes back to Stacey. Stacey looking for the hammer. Wants to throw something. Decides to throw a bladey flick. Unfortunately, number 1, Gavin Moore, gets a piece on it, but not enough for it to wobble away. Pillage moving it down the field. Looks at Jack, who gets the disc and scores.
Some nice flow by Pillage there.
Yeah, as soon as Moore took the opportunity to get to take the option that it looked like he was going to get the D there, but sometimes even when you touch the disc, it doesn't generate the turn.
Yeah, you got to catch those Ds, Beebs.
Yeah. Then again, it was a rising edge away from him.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, it would have just wobbled back up even if he got more of a piece to it. 9-6 to Plunder.
Seen it happen quite a lot this tournament. I've seen a lot of tip Ds that didn't turn into Ds.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that wind is giving the best of everyone sometimes.
Yeah. Looks like Pillage is looking to make a comeback here.
Mm-hmm. So we probably wouldn't. I'll say even the players in the field wouldn't have expected the tightness of this game. It is only 3 points between the two teams, and it looks like Pillage, who is only playing with 9, versus the looks like probably like 15 or 16 of Plunder. Still keeping up with them.
Yeah. I think that they are working to conserve their energy, but still trying to play the best they can.
Yeah, I guess when you get the short stick of the amount of players that you have, but you still get to use the best of them, it shows real promise coming into nationals in a few weeks. Danya looks to Evans, but Evans doesn't want it. Takes about 3 more steps than he has to. No one's stopping that man from not traveling, but no one's calling it. So he's going to still doing it. Danya with the disc. Goes to Lulu. Lulu looking for something downfield. Fakes it. Goes to Evans. Looks him off. Goes back to Danya.
Thank you to Colony Plunder for fixing our tent.
Thanks, Reese. Goes back to Evans. Evans is looking for something on the break side, but goes to Danya on the open side instead. Nearly at the goal. And Abra with the score. Plunder, 10-6. A bit too easy there. It looked like a lot of open side unders that got beaten to the cone. It'll do. It'll make, yeah. If you could pull this down, that'd be good though. Thanks, Reese.
Yeah, so I guess Pillage is almost a month away, or 3 weeks away from nationals. So this will be a good.
Is it? I thought it was closer than that. 2 weeks.
27th.
Oh no, it is 3 weeks. Yeah. But
Div 2 next weekend.
Yeah, Div 2 next weekend.
Yeah, getting excited.
Ulti TV is going to be down there in the Gong. Are you going to be down there?
Yep.
What? I'm sure you spoke last game, but for those who don't know, there is 40 teams down in Div 2, and I think it's 24 men's and 16 women's.
Yep.
What team are you going to be playing for, Gina?
I'll be playing for Extinction.
Very well known in the Frisbee community as the most spirited team in Australian Ultimate. They've won many Spirit Awards. I think.
I am proud to be their Spirit captain for this inaugural season of the women's team.
Well, let's hope you can keep that tradition and run away with Spirit, despite the end result.
Played 2 tournaments with them and won Spirit both times, so pretty excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to the game. Plunder with the pull. Stacey picks it up, centers it to Connell. Connell fakes the hammer.
Love that fake.
So Gus McDonald's on the low side of the field wanting the Frisbee, but no one's throwing it to him. Connell's looking for something. Goes back to high side. Pillage keeping being smart and keeping on the high side, but as I say that, we go to the low side with Gus McDonald. Puts it on, crams it to Dave Andrews. Wants to throw it back to Connell. Connell fakes it over the top. Goes to number 17. Throws it to Stacey. Stacey looking for something. This Plunder zone seems to be cutting off a bit, but letting the handlers have a free reign in that movement. Maybe the, like Will said, the effort that they had to produce for the I-beam game was a lot, in the sense that Pillage is now doing a few 1-2s, goes back to McDonald. McDonald throws a great break throw. And that's an easy goal.
Some beautiful flow by Pillage.
Yeah, Stacey captures it. 7-10. The Plunder. As soon as they broke through that zone with that nice scuba over the top to Francis, it was quite an easy a 1-2 making their way down the field. Maybe that's something that Plunder has to recognize, that if their zone does break down, they have to recognize quickly and maybe transition to man when they're in the closer half.
Yeah, I think Pillage also did a really nice job of getting it off the sideline here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely helped transition.
Nice quality throws there to work against the wind. Keep it alive.
Plunder with the whiteboard out.
Tullet Cupcake is saying something. Probably telling the team to, I'm trying to think what he would be saying. Realizing that this is a colony matchup like we've seen many years before. Well, I guess I'm not too sure if they played this time at SMO. I'll have to look up the stats. But either way, Pillage is ready to throw. Seb Hardy with the disc. Sporting a beard. He wasn't sporting that beard when I saw him at Australian Uni Championships, but he's got it now. Ready for the pull. Plunder having a few minutes talk. Disc goes up. Nice, big, outside in. Rolls little. Daniel with the pickup. Looks to Evans. Evans looks downfield, saying Denya, hey, get moving. Goes back to Denya. Denya back to Evans. The rest of Colony are very deep here. But with a great breakthrough by Evans. And another great breakthrough from Ely to Nichols. Nichols goes to Denya, back to Nichols. Looking for something on the break side, but there's no movement downfield. The handlers are the only ones that are running on the field. Evans with the disc on the high side. Fakes the flick. Goes onto the offside over to Abra. Abra is looking for something but can't find it. Dishes it back to Denya. Pillage is using a few good switches to stop the movement. But Evans does break it. Goes to Nichols. Nichols on the high side. A few good break side cuts, but Varley with quite deep mark doesn't get anything away. Commentator's curse. Still gets it away. Nichols to Ely with the goal. That is 7-11, I think, to Plunder.
Plunder's handler's working very hard that last point.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of movement in there.
It might be something that the coach Cupcake is telling them for all the Plunder players to be letting the handlers do all the work. Seems to be working.
Yeah.
It looks like a timeout was called. And with that, we'll go to a sneaky ad break.
House party wins!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're back after the half timeout. Quite a bit of a long timeout. Looks like the Pillage boys want to keep themselves as fresh as possible for the rest of the game. Rob Andrews with the pull. As you can see behind him, Trent Thompson on the Mavis side, getting a great grab over Hoss, of which I can give you an update is now 10-9 to head of state. But we care more about this game on the field than the game on the other field. Andrews with a nice pull into the wind. Stacey picks it up. Goes to Connell. Connell looking for something. Francis screaming across the field. Wants to throw something. Francis with the lefty backhand that doesn't connect. Plunder very happy about that.
Wind definitely picking up here.
Yep. Evans goes to Andrews. Andrews is looking for Will Norton. Will on the sideline. Wants to throw something and gets Rob Ladamatos.
Easy throw for Plunder.
Sorry, Alex Ladamatos. Wrong Rob.
12-7 Plunder. Pretty nice that you can see Trent's goal on camera.
Yeah. with the background waiting for Andrews to grab the disc. But quite an easy offensive point there for it wasn't really an offensive, it was a defensive point, but the shot being called from Oscar Francis, a Bottles player, decided to go for the lefty backhand, but didn't come off. Nice easy movement by Plunder, gets the goal, gives them a nice 5-point lead. And that's the hooter that I can hear. Looks like one more point will be played and then add to it. So it could be a game to 13 or 14. And Andrews again with the pull. There's a nice inside out rip. And when I say nice, I mean it is a brick. Is it in the creek? No,
No,
not in the creek.
Get that far. It's actually been called the Canal lately.
Who's been calling the canal?
We've been training here on Thursday nights, and Jody Brown's been saying, canal, canal, canal. And I'm thinking, is this a new Frisbee term I don't know? And she goes, no, we're forcing canal. And I'm like, oh.
Why? Okay, so I've always been told the minimal amount of syllables that you can say on the field is or are better. My nickname through all of high school was Beavers, and it got shortened to Beeves because Beavers is too long. So with Jody Brown saying canal versus creek, that does not make sense at all. Hodgson, big rip.
No.
Over to number 1 or 7. Can't tell with their numbers. Todd Hill goes to Reece Stewart with the barrel roll. Stewart gets the goal.
Game will be 2-14.
Yeah. See if Pillage could get 7 goals in a row. It's unlikely, but it could happen.
Hey, at Halibut this year, Extinction went on a 5-goal run.
But was it a 7-goal run?
No, it was 5.
In the first game of yesterday, we saw Factory versus Ellipsis, I believe, and there was a 7-point run, then a 5-point run, and then another 5-point run. So there have been some interesting plays this tournament. Maybe just means and shows that everybody is close enough in terms of their skill and ability that there is an interesting games all through the tournament.
Looks like the Mammoth Hawes game has finished.
Of which we'll be able to give you a end score very soon. Same with the women's semi-finals. But in the meantime, you've got Hodgson with the disc. Nice flat backhand. Stacey with the pickup. Goes to Connell. Connell Puts it number 17. Stacey with the disc again. Connell keeps it alive. Reese trying to use his height. Doesn't help. Xavier Black with the disc. Goes back to Stacey. O'Mahony's pretty open over in this lower side of the field, but can't get it. Black into the middle of the field, but then gets absolutely squashed by player number 1, Gavin Moore. Hodgson with the disc now, looking to finish the game. Goes to Will Norton instead. That does not have a mark on him. Andrews looking for that. No. Reese Stewart wants to throw on the open side, and he does. And Gav Moore gets the double happiness to finish this game off.
Looks like we'll be seeing Haas versus Plunder in the men's final.
Oh, Hoss won their semi.
Yes, and on Universe.
Ooh. Very tasty.
Tough loss for Mammoth.
And it looks like on the other side of this field, Bauhaus versus Ellipsis has also finished.
Looks like the ending score was 9-8.
You would think it would be to Ellipsis, but I could be wrong.
Can't speculate. I don't know which team was on which side.
That's very true. And I have absolutely no idea where the other women's semi-final is. Oh, it's across the road?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Across the
okay.
road, yep.
Once we get updates from that, we'll be able to present it to you. This is the end of the men's semi-final, of which we have the women's semi-final next. So that'll be us signing off. Oh, sorry, yes, women's final. Not women's semi-final, women's final. And we'll see you then.
Alti.tv